Welcome to another In Wheel Time podcast, a 30-minute mini version of the In Wheel Time car show that airs live every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central. Celebrating 10 years of award-winning car talk, it's the In Wheel Time car show, your weekly go-to all things automotive place, along with Mike Out of This World, Mars, King Conrad DeLong, Jeffrey Zekin, and the fabulous David Ainsley. I'm Don Armstrong. So glad that you could join us on this Saturday. Again, coming to you live from the Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise-In here at Lupe Tortilla number 2. We're out here between Shepherd and Kirby Drive on the southbound side. We invite you to stop by. I don't know what year it is. Is it a 67?
Don't get me going. Stinger Hood 67 only, so I'll assume it is.
And I assume that it's a 427.
Shows to be a big block.
Yeah. So we'll have to get him over here soon.
We'll get Mars to chase him down.
Yeah.
But for the moment, we have who's joined us, Mike?
Mike. Yeah.
Oh, Mike. Okay.
Yeah, and unfortunately, as much as I hate
Mike.
to admit it, you are correct. That is a Mangusta. Does that say it right?
Mangusta.
Yeah. That
Mangusta.
Mr. Mike Haney drove in here this morning. 1969. Surprised me. I thought it was older than that. But anyway, so it shows my ignorance, and so I asked him to come and explain and tell me what he's driving.
Yeah, because they were all like, "Oh, it's a Pantera." I'm like, "No, it's a Mangusta.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
same designer, but."
Well, what's the difference between the two?
De Tamaso first, he was from Argentina, but he lived in Italy, in Modena, and he was a race car chassis designer, and he designed the Valle Lunga, built 53 of them, a little four-cylinder car, looked a lot like the Renault A110. Beautiful little car, but it was small, and they only built 53 of them, and he decided he wanted to build a big V8 road car. So he starts working on what was originally called the P70, and it was a blown-up Valle Lunga with the Ford V8 in the back of it. And the car was inherently difficult to build, which led to the Pantera.
It's an Italian thing, I think.
Right. In that era, there were a lot of Italian cars that were putting American engines in them. Like, we'll design the car and just plug in something tried
like
and true.
Like you can drop an American V8 in the back, right?
Right, yeah. And so they were developing the Mangusta. They had the chassis design, and everything was going well, and Carroll Shelby was working on them with it. And his plan, as I understand it, was to build a replacement for the AC Cobra.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So they were well into the project, and they had ordered I think a dozen or so 289s, and so there are actually a dozen or so 289 Mangustas out there. And
what is yours?
It's 302, which the vast majority of them have 302s in them.
Okay.
And so in the middle of development, Ford basically convinces Shelby to jump ship and come over to them to build the GT40. So the story was that De Tomaso and Shelby got into an argument about it, and they renamed the P70 to the Mangusta, which is Italian for mongoose, the only car that can kill the only animal that can kill a cobra. The reality of
what
it,
a great story that is.
well, the reality of it is it can't, because it's got a Cobra engine in it, and it weighs a whole lot more than a Cobra. But it was still a good story.
Yeah.
And so they built. The plan was to build 400 of them, and as they were going into production, Bill Mitchell, who was one of I think he was the head of design at General Motors,
Yes.
fell in love with the car, and he said, "I want one, but I work for Ford, or for General Motors. I can't have a Ford engine." So De Tomaso, being a man who saw a paycheck, said, "Just send me whatever engine you want, and I'll put it in it." So Zora Arcus Duntov himself built a 4-bolt 327, shipped it to Modena, Italy, and they put it in the car. So they built 401 of them. And when the car was being shipped here, it got delayed in customs, and somehow or another, when it shows up at General Motors, it's missing the carburetor. Don't ask me why, but it took General Motors, it took them a month to get a replacement carburetor.
Well, I worked 25 years for General Motors. Doesn't surprise me in the least.
Okay. Well, the car is It's a beautiful car, but there's not a whole lot of pleasure in driving them. They are the seating position is awkward. The weight distribution is insane. I think 3268.
Real rear heavy, yeah.
Very rear heavy. And so once they got the thing running, well, he was not very plussed about the fact that he had to wait so long for his toy. Then he gets in and he drives it around the parking lot and decides, I don't like it. So his secretary drove it for a year, and then they did a raffle for an option to buy it with employees. And a guy, I don't know him in person, but on the forums I know is Dick Rusin that owns it. And he
So they know where that car still is today.
Yes, and he bought it. He worked for General Motors. He bought the car, and he's had it ever since.
Does it show up every now and then to an event?
He lives in Detroit, so he shows it up there quite a bit. And he's very active in the community.
So how did you find out about this model car?
The one that you have.
Yeah, and your desire to buy one.
Well, I spent three seasons racing La Carrera Panamericana in Mexico in a 66 Mercedes 230 SL.
Okay.
And my navigator at the time he just was convinced that he needed a Pantera. So he's shopping around trying to find a Pantera, and he's a very analytical guy, so he's like researching which Pantera because there were a lot of variations.
Right.
And while he's looking at it, looking for one, I find this Mangusta. This is in 2005. And so at the time, they were about the same money. And so I talk him in. I send him all the pictures and everything in the car. He's like, that's a pretty car. So he ends up buying it. And so he had the car from 2005 up until about 4 years ago, and his health was declining. He was a little bit older than me, and so he
Careful.
Yeah. So he was not able to enjoy the car as much as he used to. So
he said, Mike, I've got a deal for you, buddy.
Well, no, I told him, I got a deal for you. I will buy that car from you, and then you don't have to worry about taking care of it.
Do you a favor. I'm going to take this car off of your
Plus, he knew he was selling it to somebody who had the same passion for the car that he
Correct.
did, which a lot of times at that level of a car, they want to make sure it passes onto the right hands, and they're not giving it to some 17-year-old that's going to tear it up.
Yeah. Right, and that's part of the problem with the Mangustas is that they only built 401 of them. They were raced heavily with really difficult cars to drive, to master with that weight distribution. And they had a lot of flex in the rear end due to the way the chassis was designed. So a lot of them, just through the attrition of racing, they estimate there's a little over 200 of them left on the planet.
Still existing?
Yeah.
Wow.
And of those, who knows how many are actually intact and not in museums, so still actually out on the road. Surprisingly,
much less how many are in the States versus still in Europe. Yeah.
Correct.
South America or wherever.
Right. Surprisingly, there is one other Mangusta in Houston that I know of, and it's a friend of mine, and so he and his brother have been restoring it for quite some time, but his brother works out of the country, so doesn't have that much time to work on it.
It's not like it's a full-time thing, yeah.
Right.
Well, plus I'm sure it's a little difficult to find specific parts for it, and some stuff you probably just have to make.
Exactly.
Is this your only car?
No. No, it's not my daily driver.
No. As far as collection.
No, I still have the 230 SL that I raced in Mexico. It's been restored back to civilian form, but the 230 SL, I'll have that till the day I drop. It's it's a beautiful car, and it is such a pleasure to drive.
What kind of motors it got in it?
The 230 SL is straight 6, 2.3 liter.
Yep.
That was and correct me if I'm wrong, considered the Pagoda?
Yes, exactly.
Body style?
All the old Mercedes had nicknames. You had the Adenauers, the Fintails, the
pontoons,
or pontons.
I'm sorry. I'm an American guy. It's a pontoon.
Well, ponton, I think, was the German version of pontoon. But so they all had nicknames, and Pagodas, they got their nickname because the hardtop on them, to get more, I guess, for the greenhouse to get more view, the tips of the hardtop tip up, and so it kind of reminded people of the Japanese pagodas.
Yeah.
And that absolutely love that car. I spent 2 years looking for a European 230 because as it evolved, they had the 230 SL, the 250 SL, and the 280 SL, and the 230 followed the 300 SL Gullwing.
Right.
There was the 190 SL, which was the only carbureted SL.
And the 190 probably looked a little bit more like the 300.
It looked a lot. They had the same grill. They had a lot of the same parts.
Shaped to the fenders and stuff.
Right. And I actually looked at and even drove 3 different 190 SLs, and it was such a stunning little car. But it had like 85 horsepower, something like that. And when you're in there, you're rubbing shoulders with your passenger. It was just too small, and it couldn't keep up with traffic. Then I started looking at the 230 SL, and I was looking at the Pagodas in general, and everybody, was trying to steer me toward the 280. But the thing I didn't like on the 280s was as the Pagodas evolved, they started putting fancy stuff in them, like air conditioners and radios. And it's like, no, I wanted the one.
All that extra stuff.
The purity of the car.
Right. And mine is the European model, so I don't have the bumper overriders. I don't have, the side lights, all the things that they put as the car evolved and Americanized them. So
the Americans messed it up.
Well, for DOT, yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's certainly one that catches your eye no matter where you go.
So.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a beautiful car, but it's an angry car that its sole purpose in life is to kill you.
So with the weight bias, does it tend to understeer until you get in it, and then it oversteers like a freight train?
Well, some of the reviews on it that people or comments people have made is it's the only car ever built that can understeer and oversteer in the same turn.
Yeah, that's what I'd heard about that car because it was so heavy in the back.
Right.
And I guess adding weight to the front is not anything that is something that would be viable to try to balance the weight, or it makes no difference.
No, there's 2 of them out there that are still racing. One of them, only one that's really actively racing. If you want to see a stunning video, just go to YouTube and look for Mangusta Hill Climb. And there's a blue one that is heavily modified, and he's worked out all the kinks. And God, it's just incredible video.
Do you know the guy?
No.
It's incredible video in what way?
Just the performance and the fact to see someone driving a car that valuable and that rare, driving the wheels off of it.
How much do you think your car is worth?
There are 2 of them on the market right now.
Stop.
There's 2 of them on the market at the moment that I'm aware of. And there's 2 variations of the Mangusta. That the 70s, 71s, the headlights were too low. So they hacked up the front fenders and put a pop-up headlight assembly in there.
Okay.
To get them up high enough.
To get the headlights
for
higher.
DOT.
Exactly. I'm not sure. I think there's, maybe 40 or so of those, plus or minus a few. And those are the only ones that you see showing up on the market. So it's pretty rare for the 4 headlight, which most of them are. You don't see them on the market. There's one right now that's up, I think, Schmidt and Company or somebody like that at, let's see, $349. And
okay.
There's a 2 headlight that should be worth less, but it's on the market at $399.
That's so funny because you would not think that headlights would make a difference.
Well, if you see them, there was one that was on Bring a Trailer's website, like maybe 2 years ago. It was the only one they'd ever had turn up for auction on their website. And one of the comments on there was hilarious because they showed pictures of it with the headlights up and with them down. And when they're down, they're exposed, so you still see them.
Yeah.
And the comment was that when the headlights are down, the car looks like it dropped something on the floor it's trying to find. And when they're up, it looks like it's a little bit too excited to be here.
How funny.
Kind of like,
how funny.
Exactly.
Like, the wide eyes, yeah.
Yeah, like a bug-eyed Sprite kind of. They're just there.
So the other unique thing about it is, and I don't know the phrase they use for it, but the way the rear hatch opens to expose the engine, as opposed to most everything that would either lift up from the rear or lift up from the front, like a clamshell. This one lifts up from the side, almost like a barbecue grill. I know that's a horrible way to explain your car.
No, and it's generally referred to as either clamshell or gull wing.
Okay.
And a lot of people think, oh, it's got to be so difficult to work on that engine. But the thing is, that spine down the center of it, there's 2 bolts on the front, 2 bolts on the back. You take it off and lift the whole assembly off, and it's like the engine's in the back of a truck. You can just lift it right out, which unfortunately, since they were heavily raced, that was one of the design considerations, was get the engine out in and out quickly.
Have you ever had the engine out?
I have not. Mine is actually highly original, and I
Nice.
don't know that the original that the engine has ever been out. And I've tracked down. Fortunately, one of the owners in the registry had a unique last name, and I was able to track him down. Lives in California. He owned 3 Mangustas. Loved them. And
Oh, wow.
He owned that one from, I think, 79 to 99.
So he was kind of happy to find out where it was when you got a hold of him.
He was, and real nice guy, and we keep in touch by text. And he started digging around because he had owned 3 Mangustas. He tells me, so, well, I've got a lot of spare parts. I'm like, for a Mangusta? He's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, send me a list and prices. So I bought everything he had.
Don't
Did you
even send
really?
me prices,
Yeah.
just send me the list, because parts have got to be impossible for
Well,
that.
one of my favorite things I bought from him is a slot car racing set.
Oh,
Yes.
That has a Mangusta and a Lamborghini Miura cars.
How funny.
Yeah,
Well, that had to have been from the 60s.
it was. It
Yep.
still had the original box, everything.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
I'd like to have
the
that.
collectability of off the wall stuff when it matches your toy car
Right.
is invaluable.
And the Mangustas are the same. My car is the same color as the one in the slot car set. So
so you think you assume there's 200 plus left. How many do you think are in the States?
it's really hard to say. I would imagine at least 75 to 100.
Is it
maybe.
really? Okay.
Yeah, it's
So-
good. I mean, California, of course, is you get so many collectors there that are buying the rarer cars. And there's a lot of them that are in museums or collections that you don't ever see.
That was going to be my next question is, with museums, because that's definitely going to be in somebody's design museum. Might not even be an automotive museum. Just the design of the car is going to the artsy effect of the car is going to draw it to a museum as well.
What do you think about some of these auction prices that cars are going for today? I mean, even at Mecum.
They are crazy. One of the things that got me is like the old Datsun 240Zs.
Yes.
Oh my God! There was one that sold for well over 100 on auction. I mean, it was in extraordinary condition, been fully restored, but still, you could have bought those for pocket change.
5 years ago.
If they hadn't rusted away by then.
Exactly.
Yeah. We've all been kind of jaw dropped, if you will, with some of the auction prices that some cars are going for that you'd never even think of. Then, on the other hand, there are some that you're thinking, well, that's got to be at least a $100,000, $200,000 car, and all of a sudden, no reserve, and it goes for $80,000.
Yeah, I actually just last night I'm reviewing some auctions on some sites that I go to, and there was I think a 78 Toyota Corolla. I mean, just a generic car you could have bought for a few $100.
Uh-huh.
Sold for something like $67,000.
Oh my gosh!
The guy that bought it, does he not know anything about cars?
Well, there's something about that car, and he's probably a fanatic.
Maybe he was
about
born
them.
in the back of one
I
or
don't
something.
know. It's something.
Well, my buddy Mike Hellman, that is the Nova over there, he's one of the things he loves to do is find these cars that, like his Nova, that people had, that he'll find them that had the wrong wheels on them. They got a Pioneer stereo in there. And,
Right.
And the thing is that a lot of these cars that you get people that they want the car that they were in love with in high school,
Right,
but
right.
they were in high school, they couldn't afford it. Well, now they've got enough money to afford some of these cars. So they want that exact car. They don't want it with Krager wheels on it and a Pioneer stereo.
They want to relive their high school
memories.
Oh, my
Exactly.
God.
Well, that was Don.
Don
had a Corvair.
Oh, my God.
And he got a Corvair a few years ago and did a lot of restoration work on it and then sold it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the
Because I
Corvair,
found out really quick, it's not my high school car.
right.
It had 2 1-barrels on it, and it was like,
The 110?
Yeah, and it just not for me.
Yeah, well, the Corvair Corsas with the 4-cylinder,
Yeah.
I mean, that was 140 horsepower. And then, the ones that to draw crazy money now are the Yinko Stinger
Yes,
Corvairs.
exactly. Yep.
Especially if you get like a stage 3 or something where you get a whopping 225 horsepower.
Well, in a
Which
car
was a
that
lot
doesn't,
in that like
I'm
a
just
car,
gonna say,
though.
yeah.
In that day, it was, yeah.
And it would handle very well.
Yeah.
Well, the
Maybe a
Gen
little better
2.
than your Mangusta.
General, yeah.
Yeah, the Gen 2 Corvair. There's no
Right.
doubt about that. But so, how did you find out about today's Tailpipes and Tacos, if I don't mind me asking?
Well, actually, the buddy I mentioned, Mike Haney, that has the Nova over
Yeah.
there, he had called me up and
Come on, we're going to go.
well, we've been friends for 30 some odd years,
Yeah.
and so I call him and get him in touch with some of the circles and the shows that I go to. He returns the favor, and so he called me up and said, "Hey, you going to the show tomorrow?" I'm like, "Which one?" And he says, "Oh, well, this one." I'm like,
So is this
okay.
close to the house for you?
For me it is, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's part of what Lupe's is trying to do is create small events, but that are close to people's homes with as many facilities as they've got. So, we typically were out at the Katy location, so this is our first time to bring the show here. And a small group of cars come out, but oh my gosh, the quality of the cars is awesome.
Right.
Yeah, and the location was a huge deal for me because the Mangusta, there's so many parts on it that are just irreplaceable that I don't really like to take it out on the freeway
Amen.
Outside
too
of a
much.
trailer, some places.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, are you a Houston native?
More or less, yeah.
Okay.
Was it more or less?
Yeah, today I'd have to do the math and say more.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, did you go to high school here?
Went to high school in Clear Lake, or
Okay.
Clear Creek, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah,
All right.
back when you could actually street race, I had a '55 Chevy that I drove to. That was my daily driver to high school. Drove it to back and forth to driver's ed, which raised a few eyebrows. Like, if you're going to driver's ed, you probably don't have a license.
Yeah, right.
But-
Did you happen to? Were you down there when Houston International Dragway was down there on the Gulf Freeway?
Yes, a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
But you were maybe a little bit more not at the raceway, but racing somewhere.
Yeah, usually things you don't tell your mom about.
We're familiar with that.
Yeah.
Or your wife.
Yeah.
Right.
And there's a lot of things on this show that we really, it's kind of like taboo. We don't discuss that. But we get it. We're there with you. Well, how long have you known the Nova guy?
Oh, we actually went to college together.
Okay.
Where'd you go to
So-
college?
A&M.
Texas A&M.
Yep.
Okay.
Gig 'em.
Gig 'em Ags. Yeah, exactly. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you and talk to you today. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Stunningly beautiful car.
Yeah, we really
And
appreciate it. And
as-
thank for the education, too.
Very
Sure.
much so. Very
Thank
much.
you.
I learned a lot talking to you about it.
All right. We're going to move on. We got some other things we got to take care of, but great talking to you. Thanks again, Mike Haney.
Thank you.
All right. As a matter of fact, I need to play a little catch-up here, and not with the sauce. I need to play catch-up because I believe that Mr. Mars that has the first up with the.
Yeah, but Mr. Mars is out talking
Has he? Well, I'll tell you what. Let's do mine because it really doesn't. You want to do your car review now, or do you want to wait?
I'm good.
Okay. What does that mean? I'm good. You're good to do it, or what?
Hey, he just thinks he's good. He's
Okay. Well, why don't you sit down and do your car review? That would be really good because we need to get that in this hour, if you don't mind.
Not a problem.
All right.
Because what we're talking about is a 2021
No,
Ford.
you're talking about it.
I'm talking about a 2021 Ford F350 King Ranch 4x4 crew cab with the trimmer package on it. Now, this is a big
trimmer package.
truck. Trimmer is
Tremor.
their new off-road suspension.
That's a TREMOR, I believe it is, not a TRIMMER like
Right.
you would have to cut the grass with. I just wanted to make that clear.
Yeah. So, and we're talking about wrong page. So this is a full-size pickup truck. And, of course, it's a Ford, so it comes in lots of different trim packages. But we've got the King Ranch, and you can only get the King Ranch this year in the crew cab. So if you want that, and the only thing you're going to get that's got more stuff on it's going to be the Platinum or the Limited model.
And they make those.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's for 2021. It's got a nice sharp cut grille on it. They've done some updates there. Got lots of right angles on the vehicle, and if you're into the straight lines and not all the curved lines in some of the smaller vehicles that you're going to see, this is the vehicle for you, because the Tremor adds in a lifted suspension, 35-inch tires. It's got a rock crawl mode on it. That's where you get all your skid plates for all the off-road stuff. And this is a big truck. This is a man's man truck. You know, if you've got a big job to do, this is the kind of truck that you're looking for. You're going to haul 6 or 7 horses, 5 or 6 cars. It'll do it. It's going to come complete with LED lighting all the way around, including inside the bed. It's got the running board steps. Now, because it's lifted, they didn't have the lowering running boards on it, so you had to step up into this thing.
You had to climb up
into this thing. Got remote tailgate release. I'll be happy when they get one where it'll close the tailgate for you. Got a nice tie-down system inside the bed for your tying down all your cargo. It's got the setup so that you can add your 5th wheel hitch setup. We had the Pro Trailer backup system. That's where you can actually, instead of trying to drive it by the steering wheel and back up, you actually turn a knob on the dash the direction you want to go. You don't have to worry about going the other direction. The direction you want your trailer to go, and the vehicle will turn the steering wheel for you.
So the vehicle's smarter than the driver.
Absolutely.
Point and shoot.
That's right. Then we also had some black 18-inch optional wheels with the big LT8 285 75R 18 tires on it. So this is a really good off-road setup here. Now you go into the interior. Now this is where you're going to find the Kingsville antique leather seats, antique effect leather seating on it. It's on top of the console, across the dash. It's got all the running W on it for the King Ranch. A lot of King Ranch styling on this vehicle, and that's where it comes from. And it had the heated and cooled, the heated and ventilated front seats. It had the pedal adjustments on it. They had the steering wheel column that would adjust along with the wheel up and down. You could adjust in and out on the steering wheel. 60/40 rear fold-up seats on it. We had an 8-inch touchscreen in the dash. Now, this is where you can find this around view, and I liked it really well because you could either do a 180 or you could do a 360-degree view around this vehicle. Had a rear view camera on the back of the truck, on the tailgate, normal, but they also have one on the back of the cab that you can switch between, and you can see your cargo and see what's in the bed.
Inside the bed.
Oh, yeah. Lots of cool stuff on this, and had the new Sync 3 system in it. Had the B&O audio, which is the Bang & Olufsen, I believe is how you say it. 10 speakers and a sub.
Olufsen. Bang & Olufsen.
Yeah, B&O is what I said.
Mm-hmm. Sorry.
But you crank this thing up, and you can go in the house and listen to it.
Never heard Margaritaville so loud.
On the Bang & Olufsen.
And the neighbors neither did either. So, but up under the hood, now this is where this thing is really, it really shines here, because this is the 6.7-liter Power Stroke diesel V8.
It's a beast.
450 horsepower at 2,800 RPM.
It's a beast.
I mean, you wind this thing up, 1,050 pound-feet of torque, which is 125 more than last year, at 1,800 RPM.
It'll tow everything.
It'll tow your house. 10-speed automatic. That's backing this thing with a tow rating of 21,200 pounds on this vehicle itself.
Not surprised.
And it's power. I mean, you pull this thing down. I don't care if you're in low gear and you're sitting at a red light and you decide you want to go fast, or if you're out there on the highway. I come down Interstate 10 all the time. I see all these hotshot trucks out there, and they're all cruising around with their loads doing 80 and 90 miles an hour, and I'm going, well, yeah. This truck is why they're doing that.
Yeah. It's got all kinds of power.
Yeah, that's it. It's just pure power, and it will push you back in the seat. If you step off into it, it's not a hammer like a big block V8 regular fuel, but it'll just, you ease right back into the back seat. It's just pure power. Pull a train with this thing. It's got a very firm ride because of the suspension on it, the off-road suspension,
package, right?
and it's an F350 to begin with. But the tires kind of take some of that off of it. Now, if you're looking for something to compare this to, obviously you're going to step over to Chevrolet. You're going to look at their 3500 crew cab. And, it starts at around 40,000. It'll bump up 77, 8, 165 real quick, plus some options. Ram Longhorn is going to get up here in there in that same range, 78,875 plus
So the
options.
loaded ones all generally price relatively close to each other.
They are, because if you go look at this one, the F350 Power Stroke, you can get one as cheap as $49,840. But the MSRP is tested for the King Ranch F350 is $82,685 walk out the door. 10,000 of that is the Power Stroke engine.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're looking for a job, you're looking for a man's job, this will do it.
All right, thank you, sir. Time now for a quick break here on the In Wheel Time Car Show. Right after this, we'll be back with hour number 2. Houstonian-owned Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has the most sought-after models in the Houston area today. When you're in the market for a new or used vehicle, you now have a place to go. General Manager Lincoln Stahl guarantees Bayway will beat any competitor's written price on the new vehicle you choose or pay you $1,000. Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is easy to get to on Highway 225 near Beltway 8 in Pasadena. Whether it's online or in person, you're welcome like one of the family. Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.com. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's premier cruise-in, and you're invited to join in. Whether you're a cruiser or spectator, Tailpipes and Tacos is the place to enjoy made-to-order breakfast tacos, fresh coffee, and mingle with Houston's fun car people. Mark your calendar for Saturday, May 15th for Tailpipes and Tacos at the Lupe Tortilla Mexican Restaurant in Katy, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Tailpipes and Tacos is free and everyone's invited. You'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods all at one location. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off in a friends and family event at the Lupe Tortilla Mexican Restaurant on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 in Katy. Drag racer, car enthusiast, and Lupe founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise in, Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, May 15th, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. at Lupe's in Katy. The In Wheel Time Car Show will be there too. Get your ride ready, and we'll see you at the Tailpipes and Tacos Saturday morning cruise in, May 15th, 8 to 11 a.m. at Lupe's in Katy, weather permitting. That's it for this podcast episode of the In Wheel Time Car Show. I'm Don Armstrong, inviting you to join us for our live show every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and our InWheelTime.com website. Podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeart Podcast, Podcast Addict, TuneIn, Pandora, and Amazon Music. Keep listening, and we'll see you soon.